Eyal Avramovich has built his career around a simple but demanding idea: technology should solve real problems, scale responsibly, and leave behind systems that outlast the people who create them. It is a mindset shaped early in life and refined through years of invention, entrepreneurship, and increasingly, large-scale crypto infrastructure and energy development. Today, Avramovich is best known for his work in Bitcoin mining and renewable energy, but the through line of his career is not Bitcoin itself. It is an insistence on building things that work under pressure, endure through cycles, and matter in the long run. That perspective has become especially relevant as Bitcoin matures from a fringe experiment into institutional infrastructure. For Avramovich, this shift is not theoretical. It is operational. It influences how mining facilities are built, how energy is sourced, how partnerships are structured, and how risk is managed when conditions change quickly. His work sits at the intersection of technology, capital, and sustainability, a place where bold ideas are only as good as their execution. Avramovich often traces his drive back to childhood. As a young boy on holiday with his parents in the 1980s, he became fixated on a sleek, technically advanced toy boat displayed in a shop window. When his family could not afford it, he made a promise to himself that he would one day work hard enough to never be limited by that constraint again. The moment was small, but the lesson endured. Ambition, for him, became less about consumption and more about self-reliance and capability. That instinct to build and solve followed him into adulthood, where it took the form of invention. Long before Bitcoin entered his life, Eyal Avramovich was already a prolific innovator. He holds multiple patents, including designs for the world's thinnest weighing scales, the world's thinnest phone charger, and the world's first massage robot. These were not conceptual projects. They were commercial successes, selling widely through platforms like Amazon and on US home shopping channels. The experience reinforced a core belief that still guides his approach today: innovation only matters if it survives contact with the real world. Bitcoin arrived later, in 2016, but immediately resonated. Avramovich saw in it a convergence of everything he had been working toward: technology, finance, independence, and systems thinking. Mining, in particular, appealed to him because it was not abstract. It was physical infrastructure tied to energy, logistics, hardware, and operations. It demanded precision, resilience, and long-term planning. In 2018, he launched MineBest, a company designed to help businesses enter the Bitcoin mining industry without needing to master its technical complexity. MineBest has rapidly expanded into a global business and has operated mining facilities throughout numerous countries at over 150 megawatts of total capacity. The business has gradually focused on the institutional client market and provides the latest state-of-the-art facilities with 24/7 service from specialized teams. For Avramovich, the transition was necessary. In institutional mining, the product is reliability, he states, noting that uptime, reporting, and trust are of greater value than hype given the volatility of the industry. This volatility has tested Avramovich's leadership on more than one occasion. One of the toughest times in his career occurred after a fire tore through one of their mining facilities. Damage was extensive and clients' confidence was on the line. Avramovich responded with total transparency and provided clients with clear remediation plans based on the information and solutions he had already assembled. MineBest communicated with its partners and established plans for remediation, resumed mining operations, and restored credibility with clients. Avramovich firmly believes that credibility is created during stressful events versus success events. As the Bitcoin market has become closer to a more established component of the overall financial industry, Avramovich has witnessed an increase in institutional expansion and believes that increased adoption will continue for at least 5 years, driven by regulatory access, custodial solutions becoming more available, and as the market structure matures. He believes that energy will continue to be a major component of the power interaction conversation. However, the conversation has already begun to shift. The question is no longer simply about how much energy mining uses. It also includes what type of energy mining uses and how it interacts with the electrical grid. This is where sustainability enters the picture. Avramovich rejects the idea that Bitcoin mining is inherently wasteful. In his view, mining is a buyer of electricity that can be engineered to support renewable generation and grid stability. Flexible loads can curtail during peak demand, absorb excess production from renewables, and help finance new energy infrastructure. The challenge is execution, not theory. To that end, Eyal Avramovich has invested heavily in renewable energy innovation. He developed a patent-pending energy production system designed to operate continuously with a small land footprint, relatively low costs, and minimal environmental impact. The technology is intended to scale, supporting everything from industrial energy needs to Bitcoin mining operations. For Avramovich, this is not a side project. It is a strategic answer to the growing global demand for power in a world moving toward electrification and AI-driven workloads. His approach to sustainability mirrors his broader philosophy. Profit and purpose are not opposites, but they must be balanced over time. Some businesses generate capital. Others shape legacy. The former can and should support the latter. That logic also informs his involvement with ADMIR, the American Diplomatic Mission of International Relations, a humanitarian organization focused on peace, development, and international cooperation. Avramovich views these affiliations as part of a responsibility to back initiatives that improve conditions beyond his own balance sheet. In Avramovich's world, leadership has a very practical aspect. He values adaptability, vision, and empathy. However, he is very open about his use of intuition. He values experience as well as data. He makes decisions quickly, compresses priorities, and executes without remorse. He delegates liberally not because he is disengaged from his teams, rather, he does so out of necessity due to the scale of the work requiring him to place trust in the team. Avramovich's teams have worked with him for many years and have developed relationships that transcend the workplace. Despite being in rapidly changing industries, Avramovich's focus on compounding results prevents him from getting distracted. Avramovich values deployments, partnerships, and infrastructure that can withstand the ups and downs of cycles more than short-term stories about success. He is very open about the pressure he feels on himself because of the people and organizations dependent on the systems he builds. This pressure creates a strong work ethic within him. To Avramovich, there is simply no such thing as failure. Regarding his legacy, Avramovich does not communicate it to others in the form of headlines. Rather, he speaks of creating sustained infrastructure, developing teams into future leaders, and implementing innovations that create new outcomes. 10 years from now, Avramovich wants his businesses to represent industrial-scale Bitcoin mining performed in a professional and sustainable manner, create energy solutions that are practical and deployable, and establish a track record of building reliable, repeatable systems. This emphasis on long-term strategies exists in his future vision as well. He anticipates increased automation, deeper integration of AI, and a time when blockchain technology becomes as commonplace as digital payments. He believes that both his mining facilities and renewable energy projects will continue to increase together. He is confident that his urban luxury electric vehicle development will ultimately be in cities worldwide. All of these goals are ambitious, but ambition is a constant in Avramovich's world. One of the most constant statements Avramovich makes is that he will never quit. This statement is not framed as something to motivate him, it is framed as a policy. When something will fail, when conditions change, when there is doubt, follow through. He has developed this mentality through cycles of failure, setbacks, and many long nights dealing with issues that do not provide advance notice of their impact. In an industry still searching for its mature identity, Eyal Avramovich represents a particular archetype of builder. Less evangelist, more engineer. Less spectacle, more systems. His work suggests that the future of Bitcoin mining and sustainable infrastructure will not be decided by ideology alone, but by those willing to operate at scale, take responsibility for impact, and build with the expectation that what they create must endure.